Catch the latest news on our website tribune.net.ph and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. The Daily Tribune is one with the nation in facing the COVID-19 crisis, and in line with this, the Daily Tribune digital edition and press reader is now available for free online. You can also download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store for iOS users and Google Play for Android users to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune is also inviting everyone to join its community Viber Katribu to get updates on the freshest and hottest news and entertainment stories of the day. Tarcito emoticons are also available on our community Viber. Just click on the link in this video to join.
Hello everyone, hello Katribu, I'm Tina Maralit.
I'm Vernon Velasco.
And this is Straight Talk. So partner, in this time of a pandemic, our lives did a 180. May it be at work, school, or our other day-to-day activities that we've grown accustomed to. Face-to-face interactions have been limited. And one of those that has been affected is the way we do banking and financial transactions. So how do we cope up? How do we keep up? Let's talk about it with Mr. Lito Villanueva, EVP and Chief Innovation and Inclusion Officer of Rizal Commercial Banking Corporation. Good morning, Sir Lito.
Good morning, sir.
Hi, good morning, at thank you for having me.
So, sir, I'm going to jump right to the first question. How is RCBC coping with the pandemic?
Okay, actually, even before the crisis or even before this pandemic, we have actually prepared for any eventuality. So this is what we call the BCP, Business Continuity Program or process. Wherein, kumbaga, you're supposed to be ready for any crisis, for any challenges, or kasi especially in the Philippines, we have various natural disasters or calamities. Aside from typhoons, earthquakes, or even volcanic eruptions. So now we have this pandemic. So any organization, including RCB, has to be prepared. So when the ECQ was declared by government last March 16, in fact, a week before that, we have been doing parang naka-work from home na kami, for some or for majority of the groups within RCBC. So for one, the digital group that I'm heading in RCBC, we have been on work from home mode a week before the ECQ declaration. So in fact, this one, when we had CQ, what we did was really to ensure that we have all of these digital initiatives in place. So luckily for us, because we really prepared ahead of time, so we were able to have all of these digital platforms available to our customers.
Sir, can you elucidate more on that? Because this pandemic should actually be presenting itself as another window of opportunity for RCBC. Kasi nga, diba, you don't sort of put your money where your mouth is, diba?
Yeah.
Like,
well, I think So, actually, yung parang nakuha ko yung tanong mo, parang kasi yung parang how do you now prepare for all of this these challenges, diba? Kasi you practically cannot estimate or parang gauge the magnitude of the impact of any crisis, until such time that you have it talagang right before your face, So, but again, yung readiness is something very subjective, It's really more on how you can really cope up with it. So, for example, siguro I just would like to give some concrete, illustration or examples that RCBC did during this pandemic and until this time that we are still doing it. So, for one, we have experienced or we have recorded exponential growth when it comes to consumer adoption of digital platforms. In fact, up to 4-digit growth rate when it comes to digital solutions or services that we introduce to our consumers. In fact, yung sa Pantawi Pamilyang Pilipino, so we, for example, for our ATM Go, it is an handheld ATM device na para tong ano lang, parang POS machine, no? That we deployed to about 72 out of 81 provinces nationwide, even before the pandemic. So practically, we covered over 90% of all provinces in the Philippines prior to COVID. So when COVID came, when the ECQ was declared, so all our payout partners were prepared to service the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino or 4-piece CCT beneficiaries of DSWD. So in fact, we were able to disburse over 3.6 billion pesos, benefiting about 1.6 million household families in the entire country, no, during the lockdown. And on top of that, we were able to also, generate a lot of consumers when it comes to adoption, no, in terms of volume and value. Kasi ito yung sa online banking, sa cardless ATM withdrawal, even sa mga fund transfers. And remember, even the fund transfers via InstaPay and PesoNet were actually given for free, no? In terms of parang free yung service fee whenever you do fund transfers using InstaPay and PesoNet. Now, and to cap it, we were able to launch this Cartech, which is the Philippines' first and only Taglish Inclusion Super App. So it was launched in July 1st. In fact, bigyan ko lang ng konting background to, no? Yung Discartech was supposed to be launched last March 18, no? So 2 days after the ECQ declaration. So we had no choice but to cancel the entire event. And in fact, lahat naman ng events across the country were actually either postponed or canceled or rescheduled, no, etc. But in our case, we had to cancel it kasi nga hindi pwede kasi nga ECQ, di ba? And in fact, practically majority or even practically more than 50% of all branches across all banks in the Philippines were actually closed. So in this particular case, when we launched this Cartech, that was the time that we were able to tweak some of the features or the benefits or services found within the platform. So even before we launched it in July, parang kumbaga we made it sure na yung mga ibang services or features doon sa Discartech app ay dapat must be relevant and responsive to the present needs of the public. Kasi yung mga plano mo before na ginawa mo nung last quarter of 2019 for 2020 was practically thrown out of the window. Kasi nga lahat ng plano mo ay hindi na applicable sa nangyayari ngayon sa kasalukuyan. Because as we said, no, we are now under a new normal. I call it the new world order, no? Because we have to live or coexist with COVID, no? So kumbaga parang ito na yung time natin. That's why we were able to launch this Cartech na we are very much pleased with the results. Kasi after 2 months, we now have over 2 million mobile app downloads, no? In fact, some of our friends in the media would always call it as the phenomenal app or the breakthrough app. Kasi nga exponential yung growth niya when it comes to consumer adoption. Because remember, at the end of the day, the ultimate measure of success would always be consumer adoption.
Yes. So, sir, how has the digital transformation been like for RCBC? What challenges did you encounter and how were you able to address this?
Yes, I think ang kagandahan lang kay RCBC kasi is that our principals, no, meaning led by our chairperson, Helen Yuchenko D, of course with our digital savvy president and CEO, Eugene Acevedo, and a very dynamic and agile senior management team, and practically the entire and all the men and women of RCBC were actually supporting or embracing digital transformation. So, kumbaga parang top to bottom, bottom to up, bottom to the top echelon of the organization. Parang it's the whole spectrum, end-to-end adoption, no, or embracing of digital transformation. So kumbaga parang hindi kami nahirapan when it comes to pushing for what we call digital transformation. Because remember, digital transformation is not just about technology or platforms or mobile apps, no? It is about mindset, culture, and people. Because
Yes.
there will be no digital transformation if, number one, the people inside the organization are not into it.
Yes.
And number two, again, the processes, di ba? And then, of course, the platforms that we have. And then, of course, of course, the objective for you to be able to make that significant and relevant change in the country.
Sir, we're sort of going full throttle digitally nga, no? Do you see the future of RCBC as being devoid of branches po?
Okay. I think nakita naman natin yung impact ng COVID-19, no, ng pandemya. So, in fact, this is not just applicable to the banking and finance sector, but across all sectors or across all organizations in various sectors and segments. No? So nakita natin, di ba, ang daming mga restaurants, for example, o nagko-close, di ba? Mga ibang establishments nagko-close. Kasi right now, majority of Filipinos have actually shifted to digital, no? Because they were forced to really go digital because of the present condition. No? So kung sabi nga natin, parang if there is something significant na dinulot ng COVID-19 was really forcing everyone to shift to digital. No? Kaya nakita natin dito, we have seen a number of, say, yung mga social media groups, no, na nagbebenta, mga online sellers, no?
Yes.
Practically, according to DTI, we have over 7 to 8 million informal home-based online sellers, no? So ito yung dito na uso yung mga ube pandesal, di ba? So totoo lang, during the ECQ, during this lockdown, mas marami kang makikita ngayong iba't ibang pagkain at iba't ibang gamit na sa online, no? As again, compare that before COVID, na ngayon mo lang nakikita actually, no? So kaya and yet you have your order taking and transactions being done online. So payments mo digital na, yung order taking mo online na, etc. So going back to that question sa RCBC, will there be more branches along the way? No? So I think the name of the game right now is how can you make that particular mobile device in the hands of every Filipino to be the bank branch. Okay, how can you make sure that that particular digital device that is being kept by every Filipino would now become the core of practically everything that they do in their lives. No, may it be financial, may it be on lifestyle, may it be on communication, etc. Remember, before kasi ang concept natin ng mobile device or ng handset or ang mobile phone, ang cellphone, ang thinking natin dyan is before kasi is that's a tool for communication, no? Parang texting, calling lang, because remember, Philippines used to be known as the texting capital of the world.
Yes.
We generate practically over 1 billion SMS a day, no? But that is already history. So in fact, hindi na tayo masyadong ma-text, no?
Yes.
Tayo puro social media na tayo, no? Puro post, etc. And we now become the world's number one in terms naman of Facebook posts, di ba? So kumbaga, Filipinos love to communicate, Filipinos love to socialize, and of course that's why the mobile device or handset is really something that we are now using. So how can now an organization like bank, for example, or any financial service institution will be able to make use or leverage that particular cell phone or mobile device to be a device for everything, no? For any transaction that any individual would actually have, no? May it be financial, may it be on social, may it be on practically on lifestyle, on everything. So, kumbaga yun ang ating ginagawa ngayon. Because remember, even when we open our branches, and this is actually true across all banks in the country, and yun nga, makita mo na lang, sample mo na lang natin yung mga restaurants, no? You don't see the regular foot traffic inside those branches, no? Especially in restaurants, no? Kasi kung tituusin, kung kukumpara mo ang bank branches as against mga restaurants, talaga ang pupuntahan ng mas maraming kang tao sa mga restaurants kasi you practically eat 3 times a day, di ba? Meron ka pang merienda, etc. But in this particular case, kahit naka-GCQ ka, etc., people still would have that sense of fear because nga of potential, baka mahawa or something like that. So nandun pa rin. So that's why, because now that we are confined in our homes for about a period of more than months now, parang yun ang dati mong nakasanayan, ay meron ka ng ngayong bagong nakakasanayan. Na parang you are no longer, parang you would afford to be just in your home. Parang at least sigurado kang safe ka. At kesa naman, kesa naman parang behind your head, parang parang takot parate,
Yes.
baka mamaya anytime, kasi ang dami ngayon asymptomatic, di ba? Hindi mo alam. Plus the fact, you're not only thinking of yourself, na ikaw yung mahahawa, kasi pag uwi mo sa bahay, you also have your family members inside your household, di ba? So baka pwedeng mahawa yung parents mo, yung anak mo, yung asawa mo, and it has a multiplier effect. So again, I think to answer your question, I think it's more about rationalization or rationalizing the branch network that a particular bank would have, or even any business for that matter. Because again, it is not just about the physical presence or having a brick and mortar setup. My philosophy or my thinking about that is, it's now because of this new world order, we are now seeing the shift from bricks to clicks. When you say brick, ito yung brick and mortar ng mga branches, and then now shifting to clicks. When you say clicks, diba, cellphone, diba? You just click your choices, diba? So that's the concept of bricks to clicks. And definitely Filipinos now would be more accustomed to going digital. And I was even asked that question before, that after COVID or after a vaccine has been discovered and all the 7.5 billion people in the world would have been vaccinated, would people still go back to the usual way of doing financial transactions, that the usual traditional way? And my reply to that was that I don't think so, because right now the volume of transactions is practically increasing, and I don't think there will be a way by which the public or the consumers would be able to go back to the traditional way of doing business.
You said earlier, in this crisis, we've seen a lot of businesses going out of the woodwork. How was RCBC it always taking the cudgels for inclusions, helping SMEs? But before you answer that, we're going to take a short break, sir.
Magsha-shopping na lang ako!
#143SM. Call to deliver.
Hello, can I get the following? One pink chair, bed sheets, na pink yung sofa, tapos slides, size 8, pajamas na blue. Oh, don't forget my...
#143SM. Call to deliver.
Wait lang. Okay ba yan?
Anything at the SM store, ma'am.
Call to deliver. Call.
Kuya, pwede rin ba ako magpa-deliver sa ate ko sa Taguig, tapos sa friend ko sa Davao, tsaka sa... cancel ko sa Lipa? Okay ba yan?
Kahit saan po, pwede kami mag-deliver.
Call to deliver. Call. #143SM. Call to deliver. #143SM. Call to deliver. Call. #143SM. #143SM. Call to deliver.
Call na rin kayo.
Call to deliver.
Before we took a short break, we asked Sir Lito of RCBC how RCBC is helping SMEs get by. Sir, how?
Okay. Good question. No? In fact, very timely. We have this collaboration and partnership with the Department of Trade and Industry, headed by the very dynamic and talagang itong champion natin, si Secretary Mon Lopez.
Yes,
No?
very
So
hardworking.
we have launched this program called Negosyantec, no, under Discartec. So the whole idea is to digitally enable and empower our 1.3 million sari-sari store owners across the country to be able to make use of digital solutions like Discartec. No? So parang ito yung pwede mo nang ipingi, no? Hindi so, 'di ba, yung ating sa Pilipinas kasi, 'di ba, kaya ang daming sari-sari stores kasi kahit sabihin mo na halos magkakadikit lang yung mga tindahan na halos isang hakbang, dalawang hakbang yung pagitan, they still thrive, no? Because
Yes.
that is actually the culture within amongst Filipinos, no? So, kumaga, the whole thinking here is that hindi lang yung mantika or suka o patis or candy ang tinitingi-tingi sa tindahan, kundi pati na rin ang financial services. So pwede ka na bumili ng tinging insurance na sa halagang 20 pesos ay covered ka na for 20,000 pesos sa loob ng 6 na buwan, or kaya yung dengue insurance na kung saan kung magka-dengue ka man ay kailangan mo lang ng isang medical certificate, hindi mo kailangang ma-hospital at meron ka naman 10,000 na cash assistance agad-agad. No? So at marami pang ibang produkto. So ang kagandahan pa rito sa Discartec, so pwede ka rin yung ating mga tindera sa palengke o sa sari-sari store, pwedeng ibenta itong Discartec. No? Like say yung airtime load, yung pa-e-load. Papaload ka ng cellphone mo, kikita ka doon, pag bills payment sila sa'yo, kikita ka rin doon, yung sa insurance. At in fact, meron pa kami tinatawag na parang yung member get member, no? So for every referral, for every successful referral, yung referrer ay pwedeng tumanggap ng 30 pesos, no? Na makikredit sa iyong basic deposit account, itong digital savings mo. At yung digital savings mo naman ay tutubo ng 3.25% kada taon. So ito na yung kitang kumikita. So parang kumbaga parang lahat dito puro ang laki ng parang lahat ng sinasabi ko ngayon is income generating or extra livelihood for those people in the country na talagang nagkaroon ng malaking impact ang COVID-19 sa kanila, no? Especially in the latest SWS survey that the estimated number of people who have been unemployed is now at 27 million. No? So kumaga, ito yung ating tulong sa ating mga kababayan para makaagapay sa mga pagsubok na hinaharap natin ngayon. So kaya in fact, gusto ko lang magbigay ng halimbawa na yung iba nating mga nakita dito na mga kasama, no? For example, meron tayong yung nakatanggap ng ayuda kasi we are also helping DSWD in the disbursement of the Social Amelioration Program. And we covered about 8 out of 18 regions in the country for DSWD. So isang kwento sa kanya, ang pangalan niya is si Beckia, no? Yung kanyang ayuda na tanggap sa gobyerno ay ginamit niya para sa pagtatayo ng kanyang sari-sari store. At and on top of that, she made use of Discartec for the airtime top-up business, for transfers, mga padala, etc. So in fact, meron din ako, yung close to home naman, yung aking kasambahay, ay kumikita siya ngayon ng 500 kada isang araw. Dahil sa Discartec, no? Sa pa-airtime load niya, sa yung mga transfers, etc. Kasi ang dami mong pwedeng gawin sa Discartec. So kumbaga, yun nga, I think gusto kong sabihin sa ating mga nakikinig ngayon at nanonood dito sa inyong programa na sana ay subukan ninyo na mag-download ng Discartec, no? Discartec.ph, no? Dito sa inyong Google Play or Google Play Store or App Store, no? So para makita rin niyo at masubukan ninyo na kung walang tutulong sa Pilipino kundi ang sarili mo rin, no?
Yes.
Kumbaga, hindi ka pwedeng umasa lang kung kanino or something. Dapat yung sipag at tiyaga ay dapat nasa bawat tao.
So magda-download na tayo mamaya ng Discartec.
Discartec app, yeah.
Yes.
So sir, with Discartec, talagang dito yung masasabi niyo na inclusion talaga for every Filipino, especially in this time that we're encountering a global health emergency, a global health crisis. Di ba po? So sir, besides kanina rin po na sabi nyo na people are struck with paranoia because of the COVID-19 pandemic, ayaw lumabas halos ng bahay. So sir, what about yung mga non-clients nyo pa po who would want to sign up with RCBC? Do you offer yung mga online opening of accounts or mga ganun pa, mga ganun? Do you have
Yes.
this in stock?
Yes, we have that. In fact, yun nga, sabi ko nga, we have RCBC online banking, no? And in fact, you can also open an account with RCBC, and we also have parang tawag namin ito, digital onboarding, no? In less than 3 minutes, you could also have a digital account with RCBC. And of course, yung sa Discartec din, in less than 3 minutes, you could also open an account, no?
Oh, okay.
By the way, sa Discartec, pag nag-open ka ng account sa Discartec, no, any time of the day, 24/7, anytime, anywhere, in less than 3 minutes, you will be able to have your interest earning savings account. No?
Wow.
Kailangan mo lang ng isang valid ID. Tapos, ang maganda nito, it does not require any minimum amount as the initial deposit. So, walang initial deposit, walang maintaining balance, wala ring dormancy fees, no? So kahit mag-open ka na account, kahit zero balance pa siya, okay lang siya. So siguro by the time na magkaroon ka ng sweldo or may pera ka na, pwede mo na ngayon itong lagyan, no? At tutubo ng 3.25. At actually, by next month, we are also introducing yung aming loans, no? We also partnered with various government and private lending companies or agencies na kung saan pwede nang makita ng mga Discartec users yung mga pwedeng mga loan programs na swak sa kanila at pwedeng makatulong sa pagbangon nila sa pagharap sa crisis na ito.
There's a question online, Mr. Lito. You talk about technology with RCBC riding high on the pandemic, but how can he reassure the public that there's security among
Yes,
depositors in his
security.
banks after that scandal involving millions of dollars and the managers being involved in the scam?
Yes.
Okay, so good question, no? So in fact, sa totoo lang, maraming mga cyber crimes or mga yung mga ganitong mga issues, no? Especially now during the pandemic na naglipa na yung mga cyber criminals, no? And it is not just within RCBC, but practically across all financial institutions
Yes.
around the world. No? Kasi alam mo, ang ating mga, that's why all the financial organizations or financial institutions, with the help of our regulators, such as the Bank Central ng Pilipinas, are really, investing heavily on making sure that all our depositors, all our consumers, are actually protected from all of these attempts coming from yung mga cyber criminals na sinasabi ko nga, no? Na parang kasi dapat you should be at least 100 or 50 steps ahead of the cyber criminals. In fact, sa totoo lang, merong nang lumabas na isang study, no? In fact, lumalabas doon na ang source nga minsan ng fraud ay minsan yung sarili mo mismo, no? Kasi ang minsan yung mga Pilipino hindi nila alam na yung password mo sa iyong ATM, for example, or sa online mo or sa mobile banking app mo ay talagang so precious at napakasagrado. Kasi iba sa atin binibigay yung password nila sa kung sino man, kung kaibigan nila or sa kamag-anak nila, etc. Kasi minsan pag nakakalimutan nila, or kaya sinusulat nila yung password nila sa likod ng ATM card,
Yes.
di ba? So pag nawala yung card nila, so nandun na lahat yung numero, di ba? So those things. So I think, at meron pa kasing mga cases na akala mo talaga galing sa bangko yung email or yung text message kasi nandun yung pangalan ng bangko mismo, etc. So that's why ang pakiusap namin sa lahat ng mga Pilipino, no, wag po kayong bastang mag-click ng mga links, no? Or wala ko kasing bangko sa Pilipinas ang hihingi sa inyo ng impormasyon tungkol sa inyong account number or account name or balance ninyo sa bangko. So wag po kayong magbibigay ng impormasyon ganun. Kasi hindi humihingi ang bangko ng mga ganung impormasyon sa pamamagitan ng email or ng text message. At yun po kasi ay kadalasan ay gawa po ng mga cyber criminals.
In terms of loans, di ba RCBC has always been inclusive. So inclusive that, we're sort of fast-tracking wholesale adoption, sir. How do you assess the credit score for people who do not have credit score in the first place, sir?
Okay, magandang tanong yan, Vernon, kasi karamihan, of course, alam natin that most of Filipinos, kasi di ba, according to BSP, they are estimating that about 70% of the adult population would remain unbanked. No? Ibig sabihin, unbanked or underserved. So especially in their case, wala silang credit score. No? And alam naman natin that most banks and financial institutions would only be able to lend to people who have a credit profile or a credit score. So ang tanong mo tama yung tanong mo, paano naman yung ibang Pilipino na hindi nga walang credit score at paano sila makakautang? So this is now the problem that we're trying to solve. Kasi that's why most Filipinos are now being victimized by illegal lenders or informal, lending agencies. No? At alam nga natin na marami dito mga online lenders na mapagsamantala. No? Na pag hindi ka nakabayad ay talagang tawag namin ito public shaming na lahat ng contact details mo sa cellphone mo ay papadala nila ng message na parang pinapahiya ka na sinasabi na hindi ka nakabayad ng utang mo, etc. etc. So kumbaga, they will now force you to really pay them off. No? So kumbaga, yun ay pinagbabawal ng BSP, ay pinagbabawal ng SEC. So kumbaga, ito ay ang gusto natin gawin with the use of digital ay kung gagamitin nila, for example, ang Discartec sa kanilang pagbabayad ng bills or pag-top up ng kanilang cellphone, or transfers, etc. Lahat po ng itong mga ginagawa niyo sa Discartec, for example, ay meron po yung mga puntos, no, or scores, or mga points, no, kung saan ito po ang tatawag natin dyan, yung credit scoring data algorithm. No? So kumbaga, meron po itong platform or technology na nakabalot dito na makikita po natin para ito po yung proxy or alternatives credit scoring na para sa ating mga ating unbanked or underserved para magkaroon po sila ng eventually ng credit score. So ang tawag na namin dito sa mga sari-sari stores, especially yung mga ating micro entrepreneurs, ay yung sari-sari stores would now have their sari-sari scores. Kasi syempre alam natin na 99% of our SMEs are practically micro entrepreneurs, no? Kagaya ng mga sari-sari store owners or even the online sellers na nakikita natin ngayon sa merkado.
Okay. Sir Lito, I'll just go back to our topic kanina regarding the controversy involving RCBC. We have a follow-up question to that from one of our viewers. Sabi niya, the said controversy involves RCBC's trusted managers and not just cyber criminals. How do you address the trust issue with your managers or people from your own backyard? But sir, before you answer that, we'll take a short break. Straight Talk. We'll be right back.
Araneta City, home to the country's first indoor shopping mall, the world's original Thrilla, and the first ever Bini Bini pageant. Now a place for your first win, your first catch, your first home, your first big break, your first date, and even your first love. Araneta City, the city of firsts.
Good morning, sir. How may I help you?
Bakit kailangan ko pang pumunta sa bangko?
Kung nga naman, sir, ba't kailangan pang pumunta sa bangko?
Why not get a UB app so you can do all these without going to the bank? Bank the way you live. Union Bank.
You're back here on Straight Talk. Going back to our hanging question earlier before we took the break to Sir Lito Villanueva. How can RCBC assure that the controversy involving the bank before will not happen again, especially it was your own trusted managers involved in this.
Okay, I think you were referring to the 2016. It happened
Yes.
about 4 years ago, no? 2016, yung Bangladesh
Yes, sir.
issue, no?
Yes, sir.
Involving one branch manager. So I think, what we've seen so far, yun nga, the wheels of justice, no, was actually seen during that particular time. In fact, those involved have been, meted with penalties already, no, by Anti-Money Laundering Council, including the courts, no, and found them guilty of that wrongdoing, no. So in fact, of course, RCBC, practically across all BSP supervised financial institutions would not tolerate any wrongdoings by anyone, even its own officers or employees, no? So because again, at the end of the day, the commodity by which we are practically providing to our consumers would be trust. And trust is, again, talagang yan ang pinakamatinding commodity or bagay na ating sinasabi sa ating mga kababayan.
Go ahead. So maganda yung sinabi mo kanina, no. Post-COVID, you said na people won't ever go back to the way things were. Final message, sir. Can you elucidate more on that po? As a final message.
Kasi, in fact, yung sinabi ko kanina na parang after COVID or once the vaccine is covered or as soon as the vaccine has been administered to all Filipinos, assuming, no, babalik ba yung mga Pilipino sa kinasanayan nila before COVID, no? I don't think so, no, especially with regard to digital transactions. Kasi once you try going digital, it would be very difficult for you not to do it and make it as your own habit, di ba? Kasi when you do digital, it's so convenient, it's so easy, practically it's very efficient, and it provides so much transparency, no? So hindi ka na kailangang magbarya o magsukli or lahat yun documented, no? All your financial transactions are recorded, no? So that's the good thing there. So I think one thing that we want to tell the public is that what we are also doing in RCBC in partnership with BSP is also about financial education and digital literacy. Kasi magkaiba yun, ha. Iba yung financial education sa digital literacy. Financial education is really more targeting about being able to understand all the financial services and how you save, how you get your insurance, etc. But digital literacy is more on how you can educate and make Filipinos aware of how you make use or leverage on digital channels, no? Or technology itself. So kumbaga, if there is a fusion between the two, then it would be very beneficial for the country because we are now pushing for what we call a robust digital economy.
So sir, my last question for you, kasi kanina pa natin pinag-uusapan yung inclusion. So what's your take po on cryptocurrency or yung blockchain technology? Is RCBC open to this? Kasi yung iba sabi nila this is high yield, but then there are concerns that this is also high risk.
Yes. Well, sa lahat naman, kahit buhay ng tao, we take risk, di ba? So kahit sa atin, no, if you are to apply this question to every Filipino, to every individual, there's no such thing as parang sigurado, no? Walang sigurado sa buhay, di ba? Hindi mo alam kung ano yung darating sa'yo bukas, hindi mo alam kung ano yung darating sa'yo ngayon, or, di ba? So that's why you just have to be ready, no? So, and those things are practically called risks, di ba? So to your question about is RCBC ready when it comes to embracing new technologies such as cryptocurrency or what we call the DLT, no, and distributed ledger technology. So I think the thing here is that RCBC is very much open to all of these emerging technologies. And it is, again, at the end of the day, what we want to impart to the public is that it is not just for the heck of having the technology or the latest technology to be introduced to the public, but it is really more on a demand-driven proposition rather than a supply-driven engagement. So ibig kong sabihin, kung ang taong bayan or ang publiko, ang consumers would have something that would want, na parang gusto nila magkaroon ng ganitong usage or teknolohiya, then it is something that we should also introduce. In fact, a lot of our partners are also doing that. And in fact, as I've said, at the end of the day, what we are trying to espouse or champion and support is what we call open banking, wherein we collaborate, we embrace each other insofar as providing the best customer experience to every Filipino in the country.
Ayan.
Lito Villanueva of RCBC, thank you, sir.
Sir, thank you for being with us here today. Sayang, ang dami pa sana natin gusto itanong kay Sir Lito, no? But fortunately, we're out of time. So, partner, it's the 15th, sweldo. Mag-download na tayo ng Discartec. Tapos,
Yes.
soon as we get our payslip,
Yeah,
mag-open na tayo ng account with RCBC.
exactly, yeah.
But,
Yes.
diba, Sir Lito? Tama?
Actually, by the way, last word, no?
Yes, sir.
Last statement. So to make sure na pag kayo, download ng Discartec app. So kasi may portion doon, parang you have to key in your negosyante referral code. So ilagay mo doon yung aking referral code. No? Parang then once you have your own account na, gagamitin mo naman yung referral code mo para sa iyong mga kaibigan, kamag-anak, para sila naman ang mag-download using your negosyante referral code para ikaw naman yung kumita ng 30 pesos. But for both of you, dahil magsisimula pa lang kayo ngayon, ang pwede mong lagay na negosyante code dyan ay 4 na A, 1623. So A,
Or
23.
1623.
4 na A ha, tapos
Yes, sir.
1623.
Ayan.
So kumbaga, and then once you have your own, then you can now share your
Referral code.
own negosyante code.
Ayan.
Okay?
So, sir,
So I will be expecting you to have the Discartec app na.
Yes, sir. So, your final message to our viewers. Sir, before
Okay.
we say bye.
Again, maraming salamat sa Straight Talk, no, sa inyong dalawa sa pagbibigay sa akin ng oras para maibahagi natin sa ating mga kababayan ang mga magandang balita tungkol sa RCBC at ating mga ginagawa para sa pagbibigay ng suporta sa ating mga kababayan ngayong naharap sila sa pandemya. So gamit ang digital platforms kagaya ng Discartec, akin pong inaanyayahan ang lahat ng mga kababayan natin na mag-download na po kayo ng Discartec. So pwede niyo pong bisitahin ang discartec.ph. So ang spelling po ay DISKARTCH. Pang Discarte, lagyan lang po ng CH sa dulo, discartec.ph. Or kaya po, diretso po kayo sa Apple Store or Google Play Store sa mga Android users. Hanapin niyo po yung Discartec at pwede na po kayong mag-download at pwede na po kayong, ito na po ang inyong alternative livelihood para sa dagdag kita para po sa pang-araw-araw niyong pamumuhay. Maraming pong salamat at magandang umaga po sa lahat.
Thank you, sir.
Maraming salamat din po, Sir Lito.
And that's
Thank
it
you.
for today's Straight Talk. I am Vernon Velasco.
And this is Bettina Maralit. See you again next time.
Click, click, that's it. Never thought self-service can be this slick. Modify plans in a snap, walang hirap. It's a wrap, just tap the app. Now you can check, view, subscribe, renew. Help and support for you. Out with the Ring Ring apps or the in thing, you know what to do. Globe at home and Globe One, all in the Globe app na yan. Self-service and easy to use, mas okay tayo dyan. Globe at home and Globe One, all in the Globe app na yan. Instant response, no hold time pa, wala nang hintayan. Download Globe at Home and Globe One app, all in the Globe app na yan. Download the Globe One and Globe at Home apps from Google Play Store and Apple App Store now. Download Globe at Home and Globe One app, all in the Globe app na yan.
Bilang bagong mag-asawa, sabay kaming natututo sa buhay.
Sabay rin namin inaaral ang mga bayarin sa bahay.
Kahit kami, nagtaka sa biglang laki ng electricity bill namin. Huwag pong mangambang maputulan. Sinisigurado ng Meralco na walang disconnection hanggang September.
estimated bills lang ang natanggap natin ng March, April at para sa ilan, May. Dahil sa lockdown, isang tabi to para hindi na maguluhan.
Ang May o June ay actual meter reading na. Kung May nagka-actual reading, ibabawas dito ang huling reading bago mag-ECQ. Yan lang po ang ating babayaran hanggang 3 buwang konsumo.
Kung estimated reading sa May at June nagka-actual reading, ibabawas din dito ang huling reading bago mag-ECQ. Yan lang po ang ating babayaran. Hanggang 4 na buwang konsumo, walang labis. Tandaan, kung ano lang na konsumo,
Yun lang ang babayaran.
ako po si Mateo G.
At ako naman po si Sarah G.
G?
G!
Ang Philippine Offshore Gaming Operators o POGO ay isang legitimate business entity na nagbibigay serbisyo sa offshore gaming para lamang sa mga manlalarong nasa abroad sa pamamagitan ng internet. Ang mga serbisyong handog nito ay katulad ng casino games at sports betting na pwedeng laruin kahit wala sa casino. Sa Pilipinas, walang POGO operators. Tanging POGO service providers lamang dahil nagaganap ang mga laro sa labas ng bansa.